Remember when Wii video looked like this? Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's hang on a second. I hate to interrupt myself, but let's go back a little bit in the video. Okay, all right, so let's time out here for a second. So at this point, if you're watching this video, you've already recorded yourself reading an elementary school book for our elementary school students. But what you just saw, transition, title, music, all of that stuff that goes at the beginning of the video that we kind of overlook, that's all really, really important too, because it centers your viewer on what you are about to do, that you don't just jump right into the video and then they get confused. Also, this is really the most fun part of the project, is doing the type of editing that really, really, really makes your video look nice. And this is how you get really good at Wii video. So that's going to be the focus for today. We're going to talk about how to add title cards, how to add that little background glowy thing behind the title card, how to add music, and how to add that transition, like the page flip that goes like this. Let's try that again. The page flip that goes like this. Remember when Wii video looked like this? That was back at the beginning of this project, and in the middle of this project, Wii video decided to change up its look. Now, anytime I mention the dashboard, which you can see here at the top of the screen, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. Now, when you log into Wii video, you're going to see this, which looks different than it did a week and a half ago, I believe, is when they changed up their looks. So the easiest way to find your recordings is just to go to recent down here. Now, I'm going to assume that you've completed the Wii video tutorial part 3. If you haven't, click the link in the description and follow those directions, because that part 3 is you recording yourself reading the book that you chose. The purpose of this video is to make your final edit to that reading. Add a title page, add some music, add a transition. Jazz it up just a little bit. So under recent, I have the dot here, and that is me reading the book, The Dot. And there it is at the bottom there.
The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds.
So there you go. You should have something that looks like that. If I want to take this playhead, click on it, and pull it back to the beginning, then I can play it from the beginning.
The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds.
And that'll become important later on in this video. Now, the first thing that you want to do is add some text. And your text should be one of these title cards that has primary text and secondary text. Now, there are some that do not have those. This one, for example, sample text. But something like this has primary text and secondary text. If it has 3 parts, top text, main text, bottom text, that works as well. You just can't have anything that just has one thing, like the I Want Candy title card or the Elastic Snap title card. Great titles for these, by the way. So what I will do is I will choose this one. This is one of my favorites. And I'm going to put it up here where it says Video 2. And then I'm going to take Video 1, click on it, and move it out of the way. Back this playhead up. See, I told you that would come in handy. And now I can preview that text. Primary text, secondary text, and then it will cut back to the story.
The Dot
by Peter H. Reynolds. So there you go. Now, what are we putting here? Double click on that title card. This is what will pop up. Primary text, secondary text. So I'm going to take this and write the title of the book. So The Dot. I can write the author too if I have the room, but I'm going to state the author in the book talk, so that's okay. I'm going to say read by Adam H. Don't use your last name. Adam H. I'm going to use. I could also use Adam, but for you, don't use your last name. Just use your first name and maybe your last initial. Okay. Now there's a few things I can do here to customize this. One, you'll notice if I try to click on the fonts here, nothing happens. I have to click manual, and then I can enlarge that. So now my primary text is enlarged. Same thing here. Do manual and enlarge that to 50. And there we go. It's a little bit bigger. I can also change what the font looks like. So have fun with that. And that's pretty small. I don't like that. We'll go with bangers. That looks all right. Too dumb. That's a terrible name for a text or a font. So let me change it to Sinzel. Creepster. No. There we go. Okay. I can also change my color palette up. So the white is the color of the text. I could change that to green. I could change this to whatever I want. Let's make it red. I can change this to purple, darker purple. That does not look great, but I'm just giving this to you as an example. That looks better. Let me just switch it to the same purple here. So you want to choose something that looks good. I can't really read what's going on here. So you might have to play around a little bit. I'll go up on the scale and fade that red down to a nice pink. And now I have a nice pink and purple. And that's that. If you click here, you can transform what's in front of you. Don't mess with rotation. Don't mess with flip. You can mess with the scale to make it bigger or smaller, but it is stretching the picture out. So the closer you get, the more pixelated it is. It's better to enlarge that font than anything else, but you can increase the size of that a little bit. Then click Save Changes. Back up the playhead. And there you have it. The dot, read by Adam H. And then it'll cut to
the dot.
Me reading the dot again. Okay. So that is all well and good, but I don't like how it just cuts directly to that book. So I'm going to click Transitions right here. And if I click on these, I get a preview. So cross dissolve, that's what that transition looks like. Let's go with, let's not go with that. Let's go with a page turning. I know there's one here for page curl. I like that one. Fits with the book theme here. So I'm going to click that, drag it down to the right of my title. And notice if it remains red, it's just going to bounce it back. Nothing will happen. So I want to move it into that title a little bit and drop it right there. And then I'm going to take my book reading. I'm going to shift it right there. So they're right next to each other. And then let's see how we did. What happens now? Page curl.
The dot.
Cuts right into the book. So that looks pretty good. Now, let's say I want to do a couple other things here, like add music, audio. I'm going to click on audio. And you have free music, sound effects, and premium music. I like to go into the premium music. Let's go with cheerful. The dot is a cheerful story. And I like that one. I think that one works with the dot. So Happy Monday, Benzosonic. I'm going to drag that one down to audio 1. Drag that down to audio 1. So now I have music playing whenever I give that preview. Now the problem with the music playing is
The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds.
It drowns out me speaking for the story. So you can see this audio bar here. I'm going to take this. First of all, I think it's a little too loud to begin with, so I'll drag it down to 70. And then I'm going to click underneath the transition, say right here, and it's going to add a dot. And then I'm going to click another dot right here, a little bit into the story. I'm going to come all the way to the end, drag that down to the bottom. I'm going to take this one here in the middle, drag that down a little bit so that music will start to fade as soon as it starts. And then I'm going to click this third one, and I'm going to drag that down all the way to the bottom. So it's 0%. Now, let's take a look and see what that does.
The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds.
Hey, that's pretty good. I got it on the first try. If you want to have the music going while you're reading, that's fine, but you need to keep it really quiet. So I'm going to put that up to 6%. And then I'm going to come over here and put that up to 6%. So the music will remain at 6% throughout the entire book.
Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty.
So you can hear that in the background. It's nice background music, and it fits the story pretty well. Now, at some point, that is going to end before the end of the story because the song is not as long as the story. I think that's perfectly fine. I'm going to come back to the beginning here. All right, the final thing is, let's say I don't like this black background, and I don't like this black background. Click on backgrounds up here. And I'm going to click on something that, again, kind of fits the dot. So I want something kind of artsy. News opener would not work. That would look ridiculous. Same thing with like these ones here, hyperspace, like stuff with outer space is not really going to work. But green tiles might work just fine. Red streaks might work just fine. I'm a big fan of the pink glow. So let's go with the pink glow. So I'm going to take this, drag it down to video 1. And now I have a background there, okay? Back of the dot. And I might have to change the colors up, but I think this looks okay. So now it's not that boring black background. It's the dot read by Adam H. There's a transition to the book, and then there is the audio that's playing in the background.
The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds.
There we go. And it is hidden behind that other video, so I don't need to shrink this back. It can stay right where it is. So those are a couple things that I would like you to add. I want you to at least have the title and read by you. I want you to at least have some music. I want you to have a transition. And if you would like, you can put in this background screen. You don't need it. If you think the black background, the plain background works for what you're doing, that's fine. Let's take a look at the final product.
The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds.
I like that. That's pretty good. So let's take a look at what we have. Always good to look at it a few times. Because you can catch mistakes like that one. I don't know if you saw it, but I could see the beginning of the Wii video before I clicked over.
The Dot.
If you wanted to get rid of that, you certainly could. So down here, I can zoom this in and then cut. Oh. Make sure you click on the book, the video that you want to cut, and then click cut. And that's the part I want to eliminate. Pull this back.
The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds.
That looks better to me. That looks better to me. So I think I am done here and I'm ready to export this. Now, some of you are just coming up here and copying the link from the hub editor. Don't do that, please. I can't always see what you see when you do that. I need a finished link. So you want to go up here to finish. Oh, one more thing. Right here where it says dot, you can rename the video. You can rename it the title so you can find it later. We're going to come up here, click finish. And high definition, always go with high definition. And then you can create or choose a thumbnail. Sometimes these all come up blank, but sometimes you get some good shots here. So I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to click export. You've seen this before in these videos. It is queued and it is going to give me an estimate on how long this will take. It never takes very long, but you can, 2 minutes and 32 seconds right there. But you can close out of this. You can go back to Weave Video. You can close the tab. They will email you the link when it is finished. And that is the link that you're going to share with me so I can take a look at what you have. Now, also in the video description, I'm going to include a link to my final product. So if you would like to see what it looks like from start to finish rather than just the very beginning, you can certainly do so, especially if you haven't recorded yet. That might help you out a little bit. So happy recording, happy editing. I look forward to seeing what you come up with.